I've been playing Quiet Place, and
Mhm.
Quiet Place is, I mentioned it last week, but now that I've got like several hours into it, um, essentially I've completed it, but I've got several hours just kind of going through everything in this and trying to figure stuff out. Quiet Place is an interesting game, and I'm going to start my review of this by saying it feels like they aimed to be a 7 out of 10, but landed on like a 6 out of 10. It's not a bad game by any means. It's just, it, I think the premise behind it, where you have to be quiet or those aliens will show up and eat you, actually kind of hurts it. I do like a lot about this game. It's a good looking game. It's not the prettiest game out there, but it's a good looking game. Um, and I've been playing it both on the Steam Deck and on the PC and the laptop here, big screen. The I like I like going through the buildings, going through the rooms. The exploration aspect is really cool. There's a lot of great built-in tension. It's not the world's longest game, which is good, but it's still like 8 to 10 hours. So it kind of falls into a good spot in terms of game length. And it's sort of this mission based aspect where, like I said, the last couple times I spoke about it. If you kind of have to go out, do something, come back, go out, do something, come back, and it happens a lot within this game. But you're doing it within the level.
Yeah.
Like okay, I'm in this hub on this level in this area. I have to go out and do something, and come back to the same hub, back and forth. So it's not there's like a little bit of resource stuff. It's not necessarily classic survival where you're doing crafting or anything, but you are trying to survive and stay alive. And you do the majority of that by trying to be quiet. So the game has you walk slowly and crouch to be quiet, which means you're moving very slowly in this game. And there are points in any video game that I play where I'm thinking, I'm done with this section. I really want to get to the next area. So I'm just going to run. I'm going to run across. I'm going to run to this position, this point of interest that I see out there. You can't do that with this because those monsters will hear you. And that really starts to make me enjoy less of the world that's here because I can't get to the stuff that I want to get to, especially quickly. If I can, it's very slow to get there. And I have to do a lot of backtracking within areas to get to this stuff because I have to find something. And a lot of times there'll be one little thing in the corner of a room and you'll miss it. And you'll go to like a room at the end of the building or the hospital or the factory or whatever. And you'll think, crap, I got to go all the way back to get this one little thing. But I have to walk extremely slow and I have to crouch because that's the only way I can survive. And so there are those aspects of this that tension can become it becomes like tediousness. It's like, okay, I gotta go walk slowly again. And so that kind of hampers the experience for me. I'm a big fan of A Quiet Place. I'm a fan of the IP. I've liked all three of the movies. I've read I think is there a comic? I read something online that was in universe, supposedly, and I enjoy everything about it. The premise is great, but it kind of goes a little too much here. Like this 10-hour game could have been 6 hours if you throw in more than just location-based missions. Like I would have loved if I was on a train, like where sound wasn't an issue because it's pouring rain outside. There are aspects of rain in this too, but there's a lot of loud noises, and I can actually run. I can actually do things I need to do. I can knock stuff over. I can actually enjoy the experience because they do that in the movies. In the movies, there are moments of tension with quiet, and there are moments of loud where people can actually do things and function, and you're not afraid of the aliens. So I enjoyed it. It is.
I always
They're
forget they're
interesting,
I always
but
forget they're aliens until I
yeah,
actually think about it. It's like, oh, they're not just
yeah,
monsters. That's right, there are aliens.
yeah, and
This looks
interacting.
like the Stranger Things monster to
They
me.
kind of do. I
Yeah.
mean, they've all kind of become that, right? They've all become
Yeah.
the strangers. Like there's even like Last of Us feel to these monsters with the free, whatever they're called. But like I said, I wish that there was more than just quiet. I get it, it's called a quiet play, but I wish there was more than just forcing me to be silent and quiet and crawling. You can upgrade stuff that makes the character do a little more things, but you're still moving at that snail's pace. It
kind of looks like it's like dying light.
It kind of is. There's not a lot of action in this, and to the point where you don't see the alien, the monsters, aliens, whatever. They're almost scripted positions in a way. Like if you're good at being quiet and moving slow, you're not going to see them very often. You'll only see them in the very specific points where the game calls out you needing to see them, you needing to defeat one to get by. Like you'll see the one will be in the corner of a warehouse, like we're showing there, but you get to that point. It's not like you're not just walking around a random warehouse making loud noises and there's tons of them. It's not that kind of game, it's almost a little too scripted, and it's too far in between. You think of like the Xbox 360 horror games like Dead Space and BioShock, where you had the Big Daddy or you had the monsters, but the way they were scripted, it felt like it was a part of they were leading up to something, and you're trying to get away from them, and you can always get away from them if you really do your best. But there's also other things, other creatures, other whatever people.
Well,
that you're
like
trying to
most
stay away
of these,
from. It doesn't happen here.
Yeah, most of these kinds of games and conceptually, like, it's the Walking Dead situation where it's like, no, the real monsters are man, or it's like, you have to pay close attention and understand where the monsters are, but it's the people that you have to worry about, and this just doesn't look like that has that.
There's a lot of empty space. It's the environment you kind of have to worry about here, because you'll be walking across something and all of a sudden you'll fall through the floor, and it's like, oh, if that didn't make a lot of noise, me crawling and me taking quick steps is going to call an alien, but falling through the floor is not, which is kind of weird. But again, granted, so those are kind of the issues I had with it. I enjoyed my time with this because it's in universe. The character, the plot is interesting because it's it kind of leads you to these two folks that start kind of searching for each other in a way, and so those aspects are actually really good. It's just it doesn't land those punches that I was really hoping to, because it does whiff on the overly silent aspect of the whole experience. So if you're a Quiet Place fan, you could probably get something out of this. I think it does the IP justice in a way. I almost would have loved to see this from like the monster standpoint. That could have been kind of a cool
like Alien versus Predator game where you can choose.
Man. But
this looks like at one point they were trying to make a VR game, and it just like
maybe yeah. And I think there are, like I said, there are some neat aspects to this. I think it's not a long game, and I think that's actually to its advantage. So you're not going to get bored with this game. It's going to feel a little tedious, just walking very slow throughout a lot of stuff. So Quiet Place sort of had, again, I liked it. I actually did enjoy my time with it, apart from how freaking long it took to get through stuff, because I had to backtrack and walk very slowly.
Couple of 6 out of 10s on the show so far. Like, not bad, but like,